With Spirit was able to design the boat to my needs and wishes. This way I could fulfill my dream of how a boat should look like and how a boat should sail. I wanted to have the classic lines. I wanted to have a boat which I can handle by myself, and I wanted to see performance. Cruising from A to B, 1 or 2 people is more than enough.
I'm trying to find our new listing, and I think I've spotted it. Wow, what a beauty. Jochen? How are you doing? Can I come aboard?
Please, join.
How's it going? Okay, you good?
Good of you to have time.
Wow, what a beautiful boat. Oh my God.
Come in, I'll show you around.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Woods from breezeyachting.swiss, and I'm here on this beautiful modern classic Spirit of Rani, which was commissioned in 2012 by the current owner, who has been sailing her heavily for the last decade. And we're going to show you around the boat, both externally and internally. Spirit of Rani is an 18.5 meter Spirit 60 deckhouse, a custom configuration designed by Sean McMillan of Spirit Yachts and built to the owner's exact specification. She is not a production boat, and she was never going to be. In 2024 and 2025, she went through a significant refit with over 200,000 euros invested in bringing her back to top condition. She is now available for sale. So the first thing to say about this boat as a classic yacht, obviously teak is a major feature. So it's got teak throughout, right across the deck, on the deck house, at the aft end. It's a nice thick teak under the feet, so it feels really good. You've also got these beautifully varnished bulwarks that go all the way around the boat. And as you can see, there are holes where the stanchions should be. So these are removable stanchions. And it's much nicer obviously having them removed whilst you're under sail, and it's obligatory when you're racing, so we opted to remove them for the video because it just looks so much nicer. In terms of winches, we've got these beautiful stainless steel Harken winches, which are top of the range, and some of them are also automatic, so you can easily winch in while you're at the helm. Again, part of the requirements for the owner to be able to sail short-handed. Another lovely touch that the owners put on this boat is these fender saddles. So basically they're made of leather, and they've got wool on the inside to protect the varnish, and you just put them on like so, nice and neat. On the aft deck, you've got 2 large lazarettes. I'll just open up this one. And inside, the owner's got the passerelle stored. He's got the code 0 bimini. He's actually got 2 biminis. He's got one large bimini that goes right to the mast, so it covers basically the boom and the cockpit. And then he's got like an aft bimini which just covers the cockpit so that you can have it up when you're sailing and also driving the boat. Then underneath me on the aft section, you've got 2 smaller lazarettes. On the port side is a shower, so you can open that up and basically have a shower when you've been in the water. And then you've got the storage for the gas tanks under here, which they use obviously for the hob and cooking and so on. So one thing about classic yachts is the flag needs to be big enough to touch the water. That's a tradition. So let's see if this one meets the requirements. Yep. This is the wheel, obviously. And she's such a beautiful boat to helm. It's so smooth. It's just like helming a dinghy, like a small dinghy. It's really, really sensitive, but very light at the same time. Here's all the navigation equipment that you've got in front of you while you're at the helm. GPS, bow thruster. He can operate the anchor chain remotely from here as well, so he's got an up and down switch for that. He can furl in and out the head sail from here. Autopilot, compass, and then we've got some very neat pockets for the carbon winch handles, one on either side. your VHF radio, and some really nice switches here, which I'd like you to have a look at as well. So something I found really neat on this boat is you've got a hydraulic, basically, bracket here where you can easily operate the backstay, outhaul, you've got halyards, and the boom bank. So again, this is another really easy way to manage different parts of the boat whilst you're at the helm, which is another way that the owner wanted to really keep it a short-handed type of sailing boat. So it's a great thing to have. And this is on both sides. So here you've got really nice visible navigation equipment. It's telling you on this side, on the port side, boat speed. So you've got 2.6 knots at the moment, the depth, and then we've got apparent wind angle, which is something that is unique to sailing boats, where basically it factors in the forward motion of the boat and then what the wind angle is, including the forward motion of the boat. So it's not exactly, there's the true wind angle and there's the apparent wind angle, and this is giving you the apparent, which is what you need to know when you're sailing. This is the lovely cockpit, where I'm sure the majority of people's time is spent on this yacht, and you can see why, because it's a very comfortable area. There's a table that fits in here in the center, which is also removable obviously, and then is stored in the lazarette at the back. The seats have lockers underneath where there are ropes stored, and also the door, which comes in 3 pieces, which is removable, as you can see, is also stored under the seat. The hull is painted in Awlgrip oyster white, 2 coats of lacquer applied in 2024 as part of the refit. But it's what's underneath the paint that matters. This is a wood epoxy construction with real Douglas fir planking over laminated ring frames. No fiberglass anywhere to be seen. It's a genuinely structured wooden hull built to last significantly longer than anything coming out of a production mold. Now let's move to the foredeck, but before we get there, I just want to show you on the deckhouse you've got these great wooden handles, which are super useful if you're under sail and you want to walk forward. Gives you that support and that security, and they run all the way along here. You've also got these nice hatches, which have just recently been varnished, as you can see, and this gives you fresh air into the deckhouse. If you don't want to run the ACs, if it's nice weather, you can basically leave those open. And you've got a couple more on the deck itself as well here. One thing worth mentioning about this particular hatch, which is above the master cabin bed, is it's also an escape hatch. So when you stand up on the bed, you're basically at waist height. So it's very easy to come out of in an emergency. In addition to the hatches, you've also got these really nice butterfly windows into the lower saloon, which give you a lot of light and fresh air if you have them open like this. So the mast deserves some attention in its own right, because it's an amazing piece of kit. It's fully carbon, as well as the boom, which is fully carbon. And the sail is relatively new. It was replaced in 2024, and it's a 3DL fully batten main, really, really nice piece of kit. You've also got a hydraulic ram here, which allows you to adjust from the helm station the halyard of the jib. And this is a really neat thing, which is something that they copied from the J-class boats, where you can basically tie up all the lines to the mast, as opposed to having cleats, which can be a bit cumbersome. And if we come up forward here, you can see we've got the anchor chain. So this can be operated again from the helm station, and the roller furler for the jib is actually recessed under the deck, which is lovely. So it looks flush. It's really, really neat. Nice design. Here we've got the forepeak, and if I can open it for you. This is was originally designed as a very, very tight captain's cabin, but obviously it's storage. So in here we've got a water maker, and obviously the outboard for the tender, which is then hoisted out with a halyard. For those of you that know Spirit Yachts, you'll have an idea of what a boat of this type entails. Spirit Yachts was founded in Suffolk in 1993 by Sean Macmillan and Mick Newman, 2 sailors with a clear and specific ambition to build the most beautiful classic yachts that actually perform well on the water. What makes a Spirit Yacht structurally different from anything else at this price point is the construction process. No molds are used. Every hull begins with laminated wooden ring frames positioned over full-size computer-generated patterns. The centerline structure is laminated as one continuous piece over the entire length of the hull. The planking goes on in layers, fore and aft first, then double diagonal veneers at 45 degrees, epoxy bonded throughout, then an epoxy glass sheath. The result is a monocoque structure in which the hull, the furniture and the bulkheads all contribute to the structural whole. Okay, now let's go inside the boat. I'm just going to open the hatch here and we're going to head into the deck house. And it's worth noting, quite interestingly, that the brand Spirit didn't actually design these boats with deck houses previously. This was the first boat that they did a mock-up of with a deck house, specifically at the owner's request because he wanted it. And you can see why when you come inside. It's a really, really special part of the boat. So this is the deck saloon, and it's a really amazing part of the boat. You can see why the owner wanted to have it, because it's basically the space that you're going to use the most of. It's got 11 windows all the way around, so you've got great visibility while you're inside. Obviously the nav station, and here there's the sofa, but if you pull out this cushion, you've got actually a double bed that you can use if you're on watch, which is really useful at the moment. Obviously it's being used as storage, but that's a neat little touch. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is a very neat idea. The owner put in a light switch here, so if you come in at night, you just flick it on, you reach down, and then you've got light in the deck house. All these little details. Then you've got, even this I think is really cool, you've got a little holder for the binoculars. These are little details that only a sailor would appreciate, so it should be taken into account. Moving forward here, you've got the electrical panel, and another really cool thing about Spirit Yachts is they make it very easy to access the wiring behind. And look how neat that is. All the wires are labeled, everything's neatly done, so it's super easy to work here. And these are, again, something that's really important to anyone who's working on the wiring, on the electrics on the boat. Now under here is a captain's cabin. So if you open this up, and if you're not using it as a cabin, obviously it can be another area for storage. Here we've got a little booklet with information regarding the refit of the boat. So as you can see, it was originally in wood on the hull, and the owner opted to have it painted in white, which I think gives it a nice touch. And apart from the hull, the full rig was checked and parts were replaced. It had an X-ray done to make sure there are no cracks. So for all intents and purposes, the rig is basically new. If we move on now to the nav station, you've got your standard navigation equipment that you've got out in the cockpit. However, one thing that's missing is the autopilot, because obviously you don't want to become complacent by having an autopilot inside when you're cruising and not actually looking at what's going on outside. So that's one of the reasons it's a safety point that they leave the autopilot only outside, so it compels you to go out and navigate from outside. And this light, if you see, also has the red light so that you don't get the glare when the lights are off and people are asleep and we want to navigate at night, which is pretty neat. The interior of the yacht is fully air conditioned. As you can see, you've got the AC panels here. So in the deck house, in the cabins, in the saloon, fully air conditioned. It's reverse cycle, so you can have heating as well. And the owner specifically wanted to have AC on this yacht because he planned to use it in the Caribbean, where obviously you can get very hot and very humid, and he wanted to have the comfort on the interior. The Mastervolt generator is located here under these steps, so this has to be removed if you want access to the generator. As you move forward into the saloon area, you've got this lovely galley on the starboard side, which is functional, not theatrical. Everything that you need in a neatly designed way. The oven and hob is on a gimbal, obviously, so if you're sailing, it moves. Fridge over here, and then an additional top-loading fridge freezer over here, and obviously lots of storage. Opposite the galley is the day head. There's a shower inside as well, and you've got this lovely wood top around the sink to give it the classic look. On the aft port side is a double guest cabin, nice sized double bed, and also you've got a separate door which gives access to the day head. And here we have the saloon. So you've got a U-shaped seating on the port side, and then a little bench seat on the starboard side. Here is like a stool, so you can come and sit and have breakfast, and while someone's cooking, enjoy a cup of coffee. If you open the top of this table, you've got space for the cutlery. And under the table, in the leg, is the obligatory bar. One thing you may or may not know about sailors is that they're very superstitious people, and this is evident on this classic yacht as well. So one of the things you should do as a sailor when you build a sailing yacht is, for good luck, a coin needs to be placed at the base of the mast. And if you look down here, we've got a lovely silver coin from India, rupee, that's actually wedged into the base of the mast. And there's a second one here in the galley that's embossed into the top of the sink. Now let's go into the master cabin forward. Beautiful large double bed. I love the contrast of the white wood paneling against the brown wood. It just really gives it that lovely classic feel. Under the bed you've got drawers for storage. You've got lockers on either side. Plenty of space, and obviously an ensuite for the owner and his wife. The ring frames you can see running through the interior, they're not decorative, they're structural. 14 major ring frames along the hull. In most interiors, structural elements are hidden. In a Spirit, they're part of the aesthetic. Spirit Yachts say their boats are designed to be as beautiful in 100 years as they are today. That's not a marketing claim, it's a structural one. The wood epoxy process stabilizes the timber so it doesn't move with moisture the way an untreated wooden boat would. These hulls age well because they're built to. So Jochen, we've just been out for an amazing sail, and now we've stopped, we're on anchor and we're having an obligatory beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
I just wanted to ask you, so when you decided that you wanted to buy a classic or a modern classic yacht, what made you go for Spirit?
Well, Spirit was able to design the boat to my needs and wishes. If you had one or two other boats before, there's always a certain list which are important to you, which might be different for you than for me, but this way I could fulfill my dream of how a boat should look like and how a boat should sail.
And what specific things did you request from them that are unique to this boat?
I wanted to have the classic lines because I like classic lines. I wanted to have a boat which I can handle by myself. I wanted to have a boat where I can live on it comfortably with air conditioning and fridges and all this kind of things you have in a modern and new boat. And I wanted to see performance.
And do you think it met all those expectations? Or?
The 10%.
Okay, I felt that, to be honest, today. No, she's a beautiful boat. And mention the deck house. Apparently that was your idea, let's say, when you...
Correct, yeah. The Spirit was building the traditional designs, and because I've done also a lot of long passages, and sitting dry in a deck house was something which was one of my criteria when building the boat. So the advantage is obviously when you do passages, you sit inside in the night. Doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's storm, if it's hot, it's cold, you're protected. And you lose a little bit on space, accommodation, but for me that was very important to have that comfort and safety.
Okay.
Right.
And with Spirit of Rani, have you found that the way she's designed, is she capable of doing long distance sailing as well?
Absolutely, yeah, we did. I did the entire Caribbean up and down a few times.
Oh wow.
We did then here in the Med, everything from Spain, Ibiza, Mallorca, Sardinia, Italy, the coast, Capri, down to Sicily, Malta now, Greece, Croatia, all at ease. Quite often even alone. So
I was going to say, so did you have to have a crew for that, or you just?
No, sometimes I have a friend just to give me company, but in principle I sail the boat by myself.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I see when we were sailing before, having a lot of the winches, automatic winches, the autopilot, everything's centered around the wheel, so it makes it quite
Correct, yes.
relatively easy to maneuver short-handed.
For a regatta, you would need 3 or 4 sailors.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But cruising from A to B, 1 or 2 people is more than enough.
It's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
And Jochen, so in terms of, you said you wanted the boat to be designed a certain way in terms of performance, but also safety. I mean, do you think the boat, I mean, do you feel it's capable of, sailing in any conditions, or, within reason, obviously? But
a couple of years ago, I came down here to Malta in a storm, and it was very easy because the deck house, in the end of the day, protects you. Just behind the deck house, all the winches are there, and you never leave that space. So it's very safe. You only go forward to hoist the sail and then take it down. But that's normally when you already in a safe spot.
Yeah, yeah. And what fascinates me about classics, particularly this one, is it's a wooden hull, which people forget. Nowadays boats are generally fiberglass, particularly sailing boats of this kind of size, and with a wooden hull, it's pretty much unsinkable, shall we say?
Well, this boat is unsinkable. We have 3 different compartments which are independent of each other. So even if I would hit something like a container and water would come into, let's say, the bow, the rest of the boat would be protected, and the boat, of course, would sink anyway.
Yeah, so there's like a safety element to it as well.
Yeah, right.
So with regards performance, which was one of your criteria, have you done any classic regattas with the boat?
Yeah, a few. The best one was really in Antigua because you have lovely wind, nice weather, good beer, nice people. And I went there twice for the classic regatta.
You raced with her twice?
Raced twice, amazing. Yeah. And I had friends on board as a crew, and we did quite well.
Yes?
Yeah, single-handed I was first.
Oh my God, amazing.
Second in the second year. The owner of Spirit was beating me the second time in his boat.
You let him win, probably.
No, you never do that. And on the normal regatta, we came in 2 times second.
Okay, amazing. And have you done any others, like in the Med, or?
Yeah, we did in Mallorca, the Palma regatta. We did the Voile in Saint-Tropez.
Oh, nice.
It should be the classic boat designs, because those boats are not sailed to break anything. It's still a gentleman's race, and a gentleman's regatta. With the other races, very often you get the young guys in and they push it hard, and they don't care who you are and what kind of boat you sail.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, going on today's experience, she sails beautifully, especially into the wind. It's a lovely boat.
It's a strength.
And fast. I mean,
yeah. What we did 10 knots wind, 8 knots speed, something like this.
And just unbelievably smooth on the wheel. I found it was like driving a dinghy, It was like super responsive, gentle, amazing.
And quite tight to the wind, so get it down to 24, 25 degrees apparent wind angle on apparent wind, yeah.
So obviously it's an amazing boat, which begs the question, why are you selling it, Jochen?
I don't want to sell it. Just getting too old for it.
Okay, really?
It's work. I mean, I don't have crew, so I did everything by myself, putting up the sails up and down, and the biminis, and all the washing the boat, polishing. So it's hard work.
And I think you mentioned your wife's getting tired of
my wife
of the work.
First had to stay in a house in the pool rather than.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. So if you were talking to the new owner of this boat, what would you be saying to him about the way you've basically created this beautiful piece of art?
I'm jealous. I'm jealous if he takes it over.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful boat.
So that concludes our walkthrough of this beautiful modern classic, and it's really been an absolute pleasure to sail on this boat for the brief time that we did. What I would say is a Spirit yacht rarely comes on the market, and one with the specification and the attention to detail that has gone into this particular boat with the way the owners commissioned it is even rarer. So I would certainly advise people, if they're interested for this type of yacht, to really consider this particular boat. Spirit of Rani is a unique sailing yacht, and she's not for everyone. But if you've got discerning taste and you're looking for a modern classic with all the bells and whistles, then this is the boat for you. Bearing in mind the owner has spent upwards of 200,000 euros very recently on the refit, so she's really in immaculate condition and ready to sail. The full specifications of Spirit of Rani are available on our website at breezeyachting.swiss, and you can find the link at the description below. So if you have any questions or you'd like to arrange a viewing, the boat is currently lying in Malta and we'd be happy to show it to you. Any other questions, please feel free to contact us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.